Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Colby. My boy Mickey is not here today. He just recently, last week, posted a movie review on Hitman. If you have not watched that, go check it out. Today, I'm here, and he has not watched this movie. It's just me, but if y'all want to see him watch it, let us know down below. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Bikeriders, technically. The Bikeriders. This movie came out a couple weeks ago, and I believe it was supposed to come out in 2023, and it had some delays, but it's out now, and it's here. So I just kind of want to go over things that I liked about it, things that didn't quite work, give kind of a rating, and, I don't want to ramble on too long, But yeah, I think we kind of kept this similar format with our movie reviews, and I just kind of want to keep it that way. I'm going to be ranking, out of 10. So, however it lays in there is how I feel like it is. Sometimes that's subject to change in a few months, but that's how I feel right now. So let's go ahead and get started. And one of the things that stand out in this movie is just the performances from the three. There's really just three main characters. You have Austin Butler, which is Benny. You have Jodie Comer, which I kind of completely forgot her. Kathy. Jodie Comer's Kathy, and Tom Hardy is Johnny. And all three of them put out some amazing performances in this movie. I really thought. I can't think of a weak moment that their acting had in this movie. So that's just one thing that I really wanted to praise. And even the supporting cast, Norman Reedus was in this movie. Any Walking Dead fans out there, he was in this movie, and I think he did good for what his job was, what his character was. So he was good comedic relief, and I thought that he did good. And even the other characters, I don't know the actor's name, but the guy that played Cockroach, he was good. The guy, there was just so many there was a lot of side characters in this movie, which also did good. Speaking on the characters, though, that's another thing I thought that was really interesting about this movie was the characters felt so real. They really did. They just felt, you could feel their personality through each character. And I think that that's become kind of rare. In a lot of movies today, you just kind of get a character, you get a plot, and the plot is basically the definition of the character, if that makes sense. So it was just really refreshing to see each character having their own struggles, having their own personality. That was really good. And, another thing that this movie did well was just immersed. I felt very immersed. I felt like I was back in the 60s and 70s. I was with this gang, and I was getting into the trouble that they were getting into. And it was just very well done. Now, this, I don't know if... Okay, wait, one more thing. One more thing, just stay with me. One more thing is that this is based on a true story. It's based on a true story. Now, there's a lot of movies that are inspired by true events or based on a true story that get turned into an action movie. Get turned into just pretty much fiction. And I felt like this this movie was very grounded in that it did not go out of the way to be something completely insane, out of the way to be something it wasn't. It just was here. It did its job. It told a story, and that was it. And so I thought that should be. I thought that could be something that other true story movies take away, is that it doesn't have to be an action movie. If it's inspired by true events or based on a true story, just let it be, or don't make a movie about it. You know what I mean? Now, something that this is obviously, this is spoilers. This is a spoiler review. Something that I don't know if it was intentional. If it was intentional, then it was done very well and it was very storybook. Now, if it wasn't done intentional, then it's very tropey and very predictable. Okay, I'm talking about Johnny's death. So, for 20 minutes leading up to his death, you know he's gonna die. The whole movie basically, you see him at home one time, and in this scene, you see him at home, and he's getting ready. You can tell he's tired of the gang. He's tired of what it's become, and he's just tired. He wants to get it over with. And so he says bye to his wife. He's like, where are the kids? He wanted to say bye to his kids. They weren't there. So then he goes over to Kathy's house, and they have a conversation about Benny. And it was a goodbye conversation. And you can't convince me otherwise that was not a goodbye conversation. That was not a farewell. And then, obviously, you get to the actual scene, and he pulls up the knife and he pulls up the brass knuckles, and then the character's name was the Kid. The Kid just popped him, and that was it. And he died with his eyes wide open. I don't know if this was intentional or not. It felt very intentional, because the buddy that I was watching the movie with, like I said, me and him, 15 minutes before it happened, we're like, oh, this kid, there's no way he doesn't die with the way that it is portraying this. And he did die. So that makes me want to say it's intentional. But on the off chance that it wasn't, that wasn't great. That could have been done better, probably. But it's another thing. It's like if people went and watched this movie knowing it was a true story, they already knew that Johnny was dead. They already knew that. And so they didn't have to, they didn't have to tiptoe around it. So, that makes sense. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know if that's necessarily in a negative or a positive category. It just depends on how you look at it. That's what I think, at least. Now, as far as negatives go, I don't have very many. I really don't. The only issue I have is that it felt like it was dragging intentionally in some points. And it felt like it was dragging to prolong the movie, and to feel like the story was fully fleshed out, maybe, but it was already fleshed out. There was just a couple scenes that were unnecessary, and that happens. While you're doing a based on a true story movie, you kind of want to cover all aspects, because you have a limited amount of content there. You have a limited amount of ideas, so you kind of just want to throw it all up there. The scenes weren't bad. There was just a few that were, I feel like, wasted screen time. I want to say this movie was right under, it may have been right at it was 2 hours. I don't know the exact runtime. But it could have been an hour 45, in my opinion. Or an hour 50, hour 55. I don't think it had to be 2 hours, but, I feel like there's a stigma that a lot of movies have because of, like, Marvel, or just superhero movies. Like, a bunch of those movies are longer, and I feel like that there's, like, a pressure for that, and I don't think there has to be. I'm not saying every movie is, but, there are as many 2-hour movies now as there are hour 45s. And that used to not be the case at all. And so that's just one thing that I noticed that I just wasn't crazy about, But that's one of my main gripes, I guess, was that it just didn't have to be that way. Now, that's pretty much all the negatives I have to say about it. You can't really, you either like the story or you don't. There's not a whole lot. I mean, there's critique within this movie, but like, there's not a whole lot that I feel like. There's not a whole lot that I feel like there's to critique. It's like you either like the concept or you don't. If you don't, then you're not gonna like the movie. But if you like this, aesthetic, or you like this kind of story that it tells, then I think it's great. I really do. I thought it was a really good movie. It's one of the better movies that we have seen, or that I have seen this year, personally. It's up there. I mean, I would say it's probably, it would graze the top 5 movies I've seen this year that have came out this year. I don't know what that list is. I'm just spitting off the top of my head. But that being said, I'm going to give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. I'm going to give it 8.5 out of 10 because if there wasn't for that slowness, if I could get a version of this movie that was just edited and chopped out the slow parts, the unnecessary parts, then it would be a 9. It would be. It's a great plot, great great acting. I mean, there's a lot to love about this movie. There's a lot to like about this movie, but that little bit of slowness just ticks it down just enough for me. But yeah, I would like to know what you guys think in the comments. I hope I've kept this video short. I have no idea how long I've been recording, so hopefully it's a little bit shorter. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. If y'all want Mickey to watch this movie, review it, and he can do it separately. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. See y'all later. Peace out.